Procurement, the only show you need to master the art of procurement.
Let's go. Have I replaced you with AI or something? That was very robotic, that introduction today.
Say, I'm sorry, I did not understand that.
Okay, this is what's happening, is it?
We just cancelled the last recording of the intro because it wasn't professional enough. Is this professional to your standard?
No, I prefer it when you're just yourself. Like, you don't have to turn into a robot to try and be professional. Like, people know that you and professionalism don't go hand in hand, but they also don't want a robot, you know? You have to give the people what they want, and that's you and your two brain cells.
So my phone has got this feature if you're calling a company where it goes on hold for you, and then when the person answers, I don't know what it does, but maybe what I've done is I've put you on hold for me while I'm off, I don't know, making a tea or something, and then it's just carried on. AI's taken over the podcast.
So what you're telling me is you've set me up with a robot that sounds like you, has a little bit more personality, and might actually get its sips.
I'd say 2 of those things are true.
Brilliant. We'll let you figure out which
I don't
one's
know
which,
how many
right?
you said. Did you say 3?
1. I think I said 2. What episode are we introducing today then?
So today we're introducing our Procurement Gods series. This is a series where we interview some procurement pinnacles. They're at the top of their game. They're, like a young Pierluigi Collina, for those who understand that reference. And it's a privilege to get some of their time. So we organised a set of questions which we would get them to answer, and hopefully that should see some themes, or you see some different perspectives on things, and that will help you to kind of achieve their success in the world of procurement.
And this is the first episode in the series, so we had to start off with an absolute icon. Some say he's the Gordon Ramsay of procurement. Others say he's not.
What does that what does that mean? The Gordon Ramsay of procurement, as in he gets angry and shouts a lot and chops things?
He gets shit done because he's the best, right?
Okay. I'm glad we clarified that.
Or he's the Lewis Hamilton of procurement. Not because he cheats, but because he's good at what he does. Slightly overrated, but he's good at what he does.
Well, he's someone that we both know well. He's got a lot of personality, and he, as actually is becoming a theme with some of these guests, loves to take the piss out of me.
Yeah.
I think I've just got that type of personality that everyone loves, just clearly that comfortable with everyone that they feel like they can bully me and tug up my heartstrings. Is that the phrase?
No tugging has happened in the making of this podcast.
Huh?
Oh,
No,
no.
we have to cut that out.
Nope.
We have to cut that out.
Wait, you did that to me. You set that up. Why would you say tug? Fuck's sake.
Oh, right, hold on, let's get it back. Professionalism. So let's get onto the bulletin. So Deborah's emailed in. Deborah. She's got
Hello, Debs.
Bra in surname.
Hey, bro.
She has listened to the podcast in England, and she's also been on holiday to France recently, where she's also listened to the podcast. So she's emailed in, and she reckons that she is the person that's listened to LTP in the most different countries. With 2. So surely we've got people that can beat that. So if you can beat that, get in touch. The email is 2lukes1sip@gmail.com. So that's the number 2, Luke's plural, the number 1, CIP@gmail.com. It's also in the description. You can text us as well, I believe.
Yes.
That's in the description. Deborah, appreciate the email, but you can do better than 2, surely.
France is basically next door as well. It's not even like effort.
I think maybe she's talking about dealing with the French people.
Okay, yeah.
she's put on LTP to warn them off. Although they do seem to like us in France, though.
I know. Procurement is massive in France.
Anyway, have you got anything for the bulletin?
No, not today. Not today's episode. I'd say just got a lot of respect for this guest, and he's someone I look up to both professionally and personally. So hopefully you can learn quite a lot from his words of wisdom. And if you've got any questions for Lee or for any of us, you know the contact details.
Brilliant. Well, hope you enjoy. Speak to you in a bit.
See you later.
What is your name and current role?
So, hi, my name's Lee Royal. I'm the Procurement Director for a large European digital and technology services organisation.
Brilliant. How long have you been doing that for, Lee?
Well, this organisation, about 8 years now, but I've been in procurement for longer than I care to remember anymore. So well over 30 years, 35 plus years.
Brilliant. That's going to line up nicely to some of the next questions, isn't it? So how did you get into procurement?
I guess like most people, to be honest, that are in procurement, I kind of stumbled into it. So I actually trained and qualified as an engineer way back in the day. So I went through the apprenticeship route. So that's how I started my career. Trained and qualified as an engineer, but as kind of part of doing that, I spent a little bit of time in the procurement function of an engineering company, and kind of enjoyed it. So while I was there, I was providing them with sort of I guess some technical kind of input and so on to the kinds of things they were buying, because they were kind of technical components. But when I kind of finished my training and qualified, I enjoyed it so much, I kind of went back and said to them, have you got any kind of roles where you could use an engineer or a trained engineer at that point? And they were kind enough to go, yes, we have actually. So I ended up getting a job there, having stumbled into it as part of my training. And then that's kind of where it all started, really. I kind of didn't look back. So like most people, didn't even know what procurement was till I fell into it, and then ended up, I guess, building a career in it. Ended up enjoying it and carrying on from there, really.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we both found as well. So I'm glad you've confirmed what we thought. So next question was, what has been the most useful skill behind your successful career?
So I think for me, it's about people, right? And I think whether that's the people that you're engaging with within your team, the stakeholders, the suppliers, it really is about how you manage, work with, and interact with those people. So I think from a skills point of view, you really got to kind of hone that kind of people engagement skill. And I think if you can master that, I want to say master, I'm not sure I've ever mastered it, but if you can actually get quite good at it, I think, everything else kind of falls into place. That all said, clearly there's lots of kind of technical skills you need to learn, procedural stuff you need to understand when it comes to procurement, depending on what part of procurement you're working in or what sector. But all of that is really the foundational stuff. I think on top of that, if you can kind of learn the people management skills, and I'm not talking about line management, I'm talking about kind of that stakeholder engagement and so on, as well as line management if you end up with a team, then actually that's the skill that will get you a very, very long way. And as I said earlier, I don't think I've mastered it. I probably never will, because I'm not sure there's anyone that I know has got it perfect. But I'd like to think I've had a pretty good go at it, and I do an okay job in that sense. So yeah, that's the skill for me: the people management, people engagement skill.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's a massive topic in SIPs as well, and it's something that they do stress as being key to actually achieving your goals as a procurement professional. So interesting you pointed that one out. This is probably my favourite question, Lee. What advice would you give to your younger self on your first day in procurement?
Well, as I kind of mentioned earlier, that was quite a long time ago now. So
Invest in Bitcoin, is it?
Yeah, that's right. Sadly, as you get older, your memory isn't as good as it was either. So I'm trying to remember what I was like then. Probably not very good, I suspect. So I think generally speaking, I think if I was looking back when I started my career, I guess when you're starting out, you kind of sometimes have a bit of a crisis of confidence in the sense of you kind of go, well, I'm only just learning. I haven't got all the skills. I haven't done all the training, etc. And I think, there's a danger you can always kind of slightly underestimate yourself. And what that means is that you tend not to put your hand up in the air and go, yes, I'd like to get involved in this project, or I'd like to kind of help out on that particular area of the team, or I'd like to get involved in that kind of process change or whatever it may be. So I think the advice I'd probably give to myself now is, don't be afraid to put your hand in the air and kind of get involved. I mean, it doesn't kind of detract away from the fact you need to learn the skills. You still need to do all of that, but actually, if you put your hand in the air, get involved in stuff that actually stretches you and pushes you, actually, that's all part of kind of driving your learning. So, get your hand in the air, get involved, get stuck in. You won't know the answers all of the time, clearly, because, when you're early in your career, you're still learning. But equally, get in there, give it a go, I guess is the kind of summation of that. But yeah, get involved.
And then this next question might sound a bit like a loaded question, but I promise it's not. Why should you start a career in procurement?
I guess for me, it's the, and I didn't know this until I kind of stumbled into it, I guess, like everyone else. But I think there's very few functions and areas that you can go and work in that give you such a wide breadth and depth of understanding and engagement within a corporate or within an organisation. So I think, as you guys know, when you're working in procurement, you get to go and talk to so many different people across the organisation. You're getting involved with sales, with legal, with business development, with finance. So what happens is you kind of do the procurement learning, but what you also get along the way is because you're engaging with all those different functions in order to do your own job, you're actually learning something about their role as well. So you pick up these kind of, I guess, subsidiary skills around kind of, finance and so on and legal, which I think there's very few functions or parts of the business where you can kind of go and kind of experience some of that as well and get those extra kind of learnings. So for me, if someone wants to kind of forge a career where they want to have a really broad engagement with the organisation, procurement is a great place to do that. I mean, aside from obviously all the supplier interaction and so on. So yeah, I mean, it just gives you and what that means essentially is that no 2 days are the same, right? So you're kind of engaging with all those parts of the business, all the suppliers, and actually you never get bored, or at least I don't, in the type of procurement I do. So it's no 2 days are the same. It's always something interesting to get involved in if you want to, and I think from that point of view, I'd encourage anyone to give it a go.
So does that mean that, say, in an apocalypse situation, procurement people would be the best because they know about all the different broad types of jobs you can do to rebuild the world?
Of course, absolutely. The answer to that is yes. Yeah. So when there's a zombie apocalypse, all those procurement people are just suddenly come to the surface. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Don't worry about all the tradespeople that we've got. We need.
No, that's right. Yeah. Of course, it'll be down to procurement to wipe out the zombies. Yeah, that's right.
I feel like when you said it wasn't a loaded question, it was, because that's what you wanted to get to, was the zombie apocalypse.
That's my plan. Yeah.
So in follow up to that, this we've covered it in a previous podcast episode, and we're probably going to do a few more on it. And it's interesting to see what your thoughts are as someone in a senior role and a well-established procurement career. Would you suggest to someone early on in their career that SIPS is something worth doing, worth obtaining? Obviously, trying to bear in mind that not everyone is, I guess, privileged to have funding from a company or to be in a position where, they might have to balance it with
a number of children, etc., and kind of work-life balance. So, what's your thoughts?
No, I mean, look, the answer is fairly simple. I think the answer is definitely yes. I mean, there's very little doubt in my mind that SIPS does add something to someone who's building their procurement career. I mean, there are, as I kind of mentioned earlier, there are some kind of fundamentals you need to learn, and some of that you can learn through doing the job. But actually, there's some stuff that actually is a bit more textbook. You kind of need someone to explain it to you. You need someone to teach it to you in that sense. And so I think that leads itself to kind of SIPS being something that is of value. And I guess the other thing is that, rightly or wrongly, and people have different views about this, but, I guess SIPS has become a bit of a benchmark in terms of, how you assess people when you're recruiting as well. And again, people have different views. As I say, not everyone believes that should be the case, but there is an argument to say that, the SIPS qualification sets a standard and a level that you can then kind of gauge people against when you're out there trying to kind of source people for to come into your team. So it helps from that point of view as well. That all said, it's not the be all and end all, in the sense that if you've got SIPS, you should then kind of carry on thinking, well, how else can I develop myself, right? How else can I, whether that be more formal training, whether it be kind of making sure you're aligning with people that have got experience and knowledge and learning from them. So you should still continue with all of that beyond SIPS and carry on developing yourself. But I think overall, it kind of sets the standard. It gives you the kind of the learnings, the basics that you need to build on. So I think the answer always has to be, for me at least, that yes, SIPS is definitely worth doing. And of course, if you can get funding from your employer and time and so on, all the better, because clearly, it does cost money. I think the time thing, is about your own investment in your career, I guess. So I guess it's a case of trying to make the time to invest in yourself, really.
Yeah, no, great, thanks for that. And the last question is there anything else that you want to add?
I guess to thank you guys. Obviously you're both.
We'll pay you later.
You couldn't afford it. Obviously you're both part of my team, and that's been a good experience having you part of the team. But also, thanks for inviting me to do this. Obviously, I'm always happy to share kind of my thoughts and views. But I think alongside that, I've really enjoyed my career in procurement. It's paid the bills, but also it's been something that's allowed me to get involved in lots of different things. I've been able to challenge myself, stretch myself, meet some really, really good people, get involved in some interesting projects. It's not always perfect every day, no job is, but it's about kind of seeing things as challenges rather than problems. And on that basis, I've really enjoyed my career. So I'd encourage anyone to give it a go if they've got the vaguest interest in procurement. Give it a go. If you happen to fall into it, like most people, just give it a go and see where it takes you. It's worked for me. It's been positive, I think. And also make sure you align yourself with good people, right? And you'll know who those good people are when you meet them. And if you don't realise they're good people, they're probably not good people. So just make sure you line yourselves up with some good people that exist out there, because that'll help you move forwards as well.
Thank you. That's really helpful. And one of the aims of our podcast and our show is to try and make procurement more accessible for people who aren't perhaps familiar with the topic or maybe have stumbled into it and kind of want to see where they can go in the future. So it's comments like that are really helpful. So thank you. And thanks for your time.
You're welcome. Cheers, Luke.
You.
Luke, which one's Luke 10?
Me.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Luke 1 and Luke 10.
Anytime.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Thanks,
it. All right. Take care.